Loch Ness is a route used in both inbounds and inbounds no SLA to skip from the start of the map to this middle section. This is done using a large angle glitch, with this angled surface being the trigger. In order to execute this route, it's important to have a toggle duck bind, as it makes the inputs required about 10 times easier. To do this, just type bind key toggle duck in the console. Toggle duck is also very helpful for ABH sequences, so I'd recommend binding it to a key that's easy to press when you start to incorporate it later. I personally use Alt and press the key with my thumb. After the level transitions, walk through the doors and place your portal above the chamber sign. Place your other portal on the ground, then press your toggle duck key as you start to fall into it. Once you're on the sign, turn to the right and place your blue portal on the ceiling. This shot is important as it's one of the 3 big factors in whether Loch Ness works. The further forwards you place this portal, the more likely it is to work. Unfortunately, we can't go too far forward or we'll run out of sign to stand on, but having a portal near the edge of the sign versus the middle will make a big difference. I'd recommend placing the portal on this line, 1 tile ahead of the line on the wall. It's also important to shoot the portal straight, as we need to jump up and through this portal to trigger the angle glitch. You can easily judge this by just shooting in the center of the tile. If the shot is too angled, you'll struggle to get up through the portal. Now, we need to shoot our orange portal on the angled surface ahead of us. This is the second factor in whether Loch Ness works. You want this portal to be on the side of the angled surface that is closest to you. Because of how portal placement works here, it doesn't actually make a huge difference in where the portal lands, but this small difference can have a big effect on whether you survive the trick, so make sure you're shooting on the close side. Once you've placed these 2 portals, we now need to get into position to jump up through the portal. You probably didn't get your portal perfectly straight, so you won't be able to stand up straight away. You can test this by tapping your toggle duck key again to uncrouch. In order to be able to stand, you'll need to tap right a little bit to move over. When learning the trick, I recommend tapping right and doing this little routine to find a position you can stand in before attempting the trick, but once you're confident with it, stop doing the test and just have a bit of faith in yourself. Now that we're set up, we can talk about the third pain point of Loch Ness, your starting velocity. Large angle glitches preserve your velocity after you're teleported. If you already have a lot of speed at the moment you're teleported, you'll have a much higher success rate with this trick than if you had just jumped in place. If you're already familiar with the short lag route, it's important that you change what you're doing here to have a higher success rate. Now, we're going to look at this point on the wall and start walking forwards. Once you're at the end of the sign and under your portal, you need to shoot your blue portal, jump, and then start holding your crouch key in that order. If you bonk your head on the ceiling, it either means your portal wasn't straight enough or you just needed to tap right a little more. If you fall off to the right before reaching top speed, it means you moved too far right beforehand. If you fall off forwards, it means you just ran out of sign. Start walking from a little further back and jump a little earlier. If executed correctly, you'll now be swimming in the goo. You'll die, but that's fine. If you're reaching this back wall while holding forwards and crouch, it means that you've done everything right so far. The final step of the puzzle is a well-timed jump input. By tapping jump in the middle of this sequence after about half a second of swimming, you'll float up to the surface and pop out majestically. If you're dying, a few things could be going wrong. If your crosshair is lit up during the swim, it means your portal didn't land. Make sure you're shooting before you jump when doing the large angle glitch. If you're seemingly just not making it far enough, it's almost certainly a problem with one of the 3 pain points I already talked about. The orange portal might be too far away on the angled surface. The blue portal might be too far back. Make sure you're using the same line on the wall that I am to line up. There is more than one. And you might have jumped before reaching full speed. Walk for a little longer before jumping. If you're popping out of the goo prematurely, you're probably holding space. It's only a single tap to do the angle glitch and then a single tap to get out of the goo. You can actually hold space for the second one, but it doesn't make any difference to whether you survive, but the first one has to be a press, not a hold. If you're still having trouble, I'd recommend sending a video clip of what you're doing in the Discord service help channel. People will be happy to point out what it is you're doing wrong. If all else fails, you can divert to an easier version of Loch Ness where you hold space after the angle glitch and look over to the left. This will let you pop up onto the ledge and then you can just jump across to the sloped surface. It's not that much slower, but proper Loch Ness really isn't that hard, so don't take the easy route without giving the fast route a proper try.